Hi all, welcome to Beanie Composter. We're fast approaching the new year, and fortunately for us we're off to Poland for a week and seeing the new year off in Poland. The oldest one is staying behind, but as I've said before, the Hotbin doesn't have a touch screen, so he's probably not going to get involved in it. So I thought it'd be a good time, as it's winter, just to see how the Hotbin performs when you leave it for a week without a feed. Now, the Hotbin's been running really well for the last few weeks or maybe a month now. Since I had that cold period, it's been really good. The outside temperature's quite mild at the moment. It's about 10 to 12 degrees, and I think that's going to be pretty similar while we're away. And I think from what I've seen there's going to be a few nights where it could go down to about 3 degrees, so not mega cold, but still it'd be interesting to see how the Hotbin performs for a week while we're not feeding it. Have a look what's going on at the moment. I'm going to give it one last feed before we leave tomorrow morning, so tonight I'll give it its last feed and then we'll see how it looks when we come back. So you can see the top dial's nice and hot there. I don't normally go by that, but if that's hot then it's a good sign inside's looking pretty good. And if I open up and you see the dial, we are close to 60 degrees there, so doing really well at the moment, if it will focus. But take my word for it, doing well. As I say, I'll give it one feed later on today. We're off tomorrow and we'll be back in the new year to check how things are performing. We're now back from our Christmas holidays in Poland. It's been 10 days since we last put some feed into the Hotbin, and since we were away I've heard there was a lot of rain, heavy winds, and probably not the best conditions for your Hotbin. And I think, although it isn't cold, today there was a slight frost on the ground, so it's not been mega hot. So let's have a look at what's happened since we've been away, how the Hotbin is, and whether we need to address things and get it back hot composting, or will we be lucky and it's still hot. I doubt it. So the top dial, although I say it's not anything to go by, it's quite low there, so I presume inside is going to be cold as well. But there you can see proper cold, and that's just in 10 days. As you saw before we went away, the Hotbin was working well. I'd already emptied it and things were fine, so there's no issues regarding that. I think just the waste that we put in there, all the energy's been taken out of that waste and it just needs fresh waste in there. While we were away there was a lot of rain, and I've seen on the news there's been a lot of flooding in some places, so if you have been badly flooded then the last thing on your mind is probably going to be your Hotbin. But there's probably some people that have allotments, or even their garden is flooded, or it's cold and you just don't feel the enthusiasm to go to your Hotbin. So if your Hotbin has been working and you've left it for a little while, then hopefully it's going to get back to hot composting quite quickly. So initially what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give it a good stir up, see how wet it is inside and how much paper we need to add. Then I'm going to get the fresh waste, just add that. I could add the kickstart bottle, but I just don't feel like maybe we need that at this present time. So let's give it a stir up, see what's going on, and I'll get some waste and we'll add that in and we'll see how long it takes to get hot composting again. I've given that a good stir. I always think going from the edges you can tell how wet it is, especially if there's been a lot of rain. I always find with this, the larger one here doesn't seem to get affected by rain too much, and hopefully you can see on the camera, but it's quite dry inside still. So I think just a feed quite a bit of paper and bulking agent, and we'll see what happens from there. If I wasn't so tight, we saw how low the temperature was in there, I'd probably use the kickstart bottle just a couple of times just to get some heat back into the Hotbin. But most of the waste today's come from the kitchen caddy, so it's been left in the house and it's quite warm, and I'm hoping that's going to be warm enough just to get things going again. It's been exactly a week now since we initially filmed the Hotbin after our holiday away, and we fed it on that Sunday, then I left it on the Monday, I gave it another feed on the Tuesday, left it on the Wednesday, and then Thursday I gave it another feed. So I thought I'd use the kickstart bottle on the last feed I did, which was on the Thursday. Now really I should have given it another feed and probably topped up the kickstart bottle again on Saturday, but there just wasn't enough time for filming, so we've left it till today. Stuart Payne emailed me and he was struggling to get his Hotbin hot, so desperately trying to get it hot. After a frost, he said he was going out to mow his lawn and get some grass into the Hotbin, and he actually said to me it would be a good experiment if you could maybe freeze grass that you've mown in the springtime or summer and use it in your Hotbin as like a heat bomb in the winter. Now I think that's a great experiment to do. I'm not sure if it'll work, but we will give it a go sometime this year, so look out for that video, and thank you Stuart for that email and experiment to try out. Now with the email, I am a little bit well, I do forget to look at it, so apologies to anyone who has sent me emails and I haven't responded that fast to them. I've got an iPad now, so the notifications come through a little bit quicker now, so hopefully if you do send emails I will get back to you. But as always, with comments on the YouTube channel, I will respond as soon as possible, so that is the best way if you just want to ask a little question, is straight through the YouTube channel. But like I say, if you do send me a big email with pictures on the actual website, then I will try and get back to you as soon as possible. Anyway, lots of chatting, so back to the Hotbin. Let's have a look what's been going on. In regards to the leachate, I haven't emptied that for probably 3 or 4 days, so we're not getting tons and tons of leachate. It's coming out a nice dark colour, so everything's good with that. Inside though, as you can see with the dial, still really, cold, which isn't great. And I put the kickstart bottle in, and although it's probably brought up the temperature a little bit, it hasn't actually made the Hotbin get hot yet. I think if you are going to use the kickstart bottle, you'd probably have to do it 3 or 4 times to get that heat into the Hotbin, especially this sort of time of the year when it's really cold. Anyone who knows me would be pretty shocked that I boiled the kettle just for the compost bin. So I thought to myself, to get a little bit more heat into that compost bin, cooler nature's due, so give me a couple of minutes and I'll be back with some warmer water, so just hold for a second.
What, you're going for a week?
Yeah. This isn't Tesco's apple juice. This is actually urine that I've just done. Mrs. B said she needed a wee as well, but she's not as good as aiming as me, so she gave it a miss. But let's have a look at the temperature of that. Can you see that?
24, 23.
Is it? I thought it was a bit more than that. 31. 31 degrees. So before it gets cold, let's get it in the hot bin and see if it makes any difference. I'm just giving it a good stir around just to, if there's any air pockets, like I've always said, I just find giving it a good stir up is always quite handy because you get a bit of oxygen into the hot bin as well.
It smells nice. A bit fruity, earthy. The bottle's getting colder.
I know, but there's some gaps here. Kickstart bottle straight in. Now it's been quite dry round here. Like I say, it's 4 degrees, but the grass is actually dry, so I could do a Stuart, go out and cut a bit of grass today and put that in the hot bin, and that probably would really help the temperature go up. But I kind of think that's a little bit unfair on some people that have had a lot of rain, or maybe you've got snow on the ground and you're not able to actually cut the grass. So what I have got here is some of the windfall apples that are left from summertime, that I'm just trying to sort them out because some of them are going mouldy in this bucket. So I'm just going to use some of those and some household waste. Now the household waste is going to be nice and warm because it's kept indoors, but these have been kept in the shed and they're really cold. Now I think Mrs. B would probably go off the scale if I started bringing mouldy apples in the house and keeping them there, so I'll give that one a miss, guys, at the moment. But I'm going to use some of these, the household waste. We've got a Christmas wreath in here that I've just chopped up, so that's going to be the bulking agent. And this straw here, don't worry, I didn't get the little and the guinea pig or a rabbit for Christmas, and I didn't rob Wurzel Gummidge of his hair, so that's just a Christmas wreath that I'm using for just to get rid of it and as a bit of bulking agent. But I've given the hot bin a good stir up, as you see. Obviously that bit of urine is just a little bit of a joke, but maybe it will give a little bit of heat. But hopefully with this feed, giving it a bit a good stir up, and I'm gonna actually put a bit of effort into it this week to get things hot again. But just to go to show you that it can take a long time to get the hot bin hot, you do need a lot of persistence to keep going out there and, you know, spending a bit of time and effort into it to get it hot. It shouldn't be too difficult. We have got videos on the channel that will show you that, but you don't have to have your hot bin hot all year round. As soon as the temperature warms up and you've got a bit of time, you will definitely get it hot again. So I hope this video is helping you out. It just goes to show that if your hot bin does go cold like ours has, it does take a little bit of effort. And even the mini that I'm keeping at my mum's at the moment, that is cold again, so it is difficult this time of the year, as I keep saying, if you don't have the opportunity to get to your hot bin and look after it like you would do maybe in the summertime. So I've got my feed ready. This week I've seen on the weather it's supposed to be -4 at some stages, so I might have to use the kickstart bottle again a couple of times just to get things hot again, but I'm going to see how I go with this for the next couple of days, and then if not I will definitely use the kickstart bottle again. But you saw I had loads of apples there, rotten ones, so I'm going to counteract that with quite a bit of paper today. My hot bin is actually quite dry inside, despite that leachate that's coming out. It's actually doesn't smell bad. I'm not concerned about it going wet and anaerobic, so all good on that aspect. It's just a case now of getting things hot. The cardboard and paper, I keep that indoors just to keep a bit of warmth into it. Feed is done now. I'm gonna just keep on top of it from now on. We probably won't film all of that because it's going to be dark and things like that, just not enough time, but we will show you when I have got it hot again and how long that has taken. So at the moment it's taken us a week and we're not even in the close to being in the green zone, so we will show you at the end of this video when we get it hot and how long that has taken us, so hopefully it won't be too long. A week later and not much more progress, but to be totally honest with you, we've probably had one of the coldest weeks that I've known for a long time. One of the days Mrs. B said to me it was -8 when she got up in the morning. I actually came out to give the Hotbin a feed, and one of the days I couldn't actually open the lid. It was frozen solid, but you know, with a little bit of prizing I did get it open and gave it a feed. But like I say, the temperature hadn't moved up at all, but we've had frost pretty much every day for the last week, so it's not been easy, and I've not used the kickstart bottle, so that hasn't really helped. So today it's about 6 degrees outside, which is a lot better than it has been. I thought, as it's the weekend, I've got a bit of time, I'd come out. I've emptied a good 50-litre bags worth of compost out at the bottom, which is borderline ready for mulching. So I've give it a good stir up and I've put the kickstart bottle in today. You can have a look at that in a second. And I've just got the remains, which is down here, that I'm going to put back in, and I'm going to just leave it shut. From now on the weather's supposed to warm up, so I'm hoping now I will definitely get this hot again, because it's just been too long for us. We've got some chicken skins that we want to put in there, but I don't want to quite put it in there just at the moment. But yeah, this journey's been quite a while, but hopefully we're on the road to recovery now. When I opened the hatch door, I had stuff like this sprouting out because it's just so cold in there, but it's probably warm enough for the seeds to actually grow. So yeah, don't worry if your Hotbin's gone cold and you have opened it up and you've got stuff like that growing inside. It's just part and parcel of hot composting when it goes cold. So the kickstart bottle is buried down here. You can see it's giving off a bit of steam there where the hot water is. So hopefully that's going to get our compost nice and warm again. As you saw there, the kickstart bottle is nice and buried, so hopefully the heat from that kickstart bottle is going to encourage our bacteria to get nice and hot again and start multiplying, so we can get some heat into the Hotbin. That's the thought process anyway. Well, as I say, it's going to warm up now, so hopefully it's full steam ahead and we'll have this in the green within a few days now. 3 weeks now after we initially topped up the Hotbin after coming back from holiday, and finally I've got it up to the temperature I want, but that's been 3 weeks and I think it's the longest the Hotbin has been cold for me. As I said in the video, we've had probably the first week when we came back it was quite wet, then we went into a really cold snap, and then on that 3rd week I put the kickstart bottle in on the Saturday, and I didn't put the kickstart bottle in, I didn't top it up or do anything after that, but I came out each day, gave it a feed every other day, but every day I came out, gave it a stir around, and I saw the temperature was rising, so I thought I didn't really need to keep using the kickstart bottle. I guess if I wanted to get things really hot quicker, then I could have just kept putting, topping up the kickstart bottle and using that. But have a look where we're at now. By Wednesday this week we were up to 40, so I knew we were going in the right direction, and then, well, a few days later we're back up at 60, so have a look. bubbles there. So nice and hot now. And also the Mini that's at my mum's, that had the same issues. I took some out at the bottom and that's already back up nice and steamy and hot again. So that cold snap really did play its part in keeping the Hotbin cold. And this video is just showing you that I have problems. We've started 2024 with a cold Hotbin, but we've got it hot now and I'm sure things are going to be fine. And to be honest, I was a little bit worried that I wasn't going to have any bulking agent. We're nearly running out, but look what Mrs. B did yesterday, and I'm sure I'm going to be getting plenty of bulking agent soon. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hope this video has encouraged you to keep going with your Hotbin. Even if it has been cold for quite some while, you can always get it back hot again. It's no issue. Thanks for watching. I've been rabbiting on. Mrs. is moaning that I'm just chatting too much, so it's happy composting and enjoy.